Well, hello everyone, GameHounds podcast. Sorry, we were gonna be actually earlier, and then Nick and I got into a conversation.
No, we're on time. We're on time.
This is what happens when you have two friends that are podcasters, is that inevitably a conversation starts, and then you look down and you're like, "Oh, fuck, we're late."
Yeah, we're like, oh yeah, it's like 12:10 and we're gonna go. It's like, oh wow, we're actually
A
relatively
little bit
close.
earlier.
And then we start talking to oh yeah, 12:30. Okay, that's more
Damn
like it.
it. So close. Um, all right, so since we're, I consider 12:20 as being air quote on time for us. So it's 12:30. So let's just hit the show. Um,
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about. This was a fucking busy week.
oh my God,
Jesus.
so much happened.
So much happened, but also like I played a lot of a game, and that game is also like a crazy lightning rod of bullshit from every side of the political
And I did
spectrum.
too. And same thing, same thing. So we have games to talk about. Which game are you going to talk about?
Pragmata.
Okay, I'm going to talk about Windrose because I
Okay.
bought it and played it. In fact, I was playing it up until about 30 minutes ago. Uh, and then, of course, we have all the news that happened this week, and there's a ton of it.
Mhm.
So let's get into the actual show and start it.
This podcast discusses video games, pop culture, and technology, and these podcasters have big, fat potty mouths. If you're younger than 18 or are easily offended, please stop this podcast now. Oh, and your mom said to take out the trash and do your homework.
Hello and welcome to GameHounds. GameHounds episode 817. We are recording this on Sunday, April 26, 2026. I'm Edie Sellers. With me is Nick DiNicola right over there. And yes, so much to talk about between the games and the news and what happened with Xbox all over the place and leaks. So many leaks. Why this week? Why this week are we looking at having to actually think about maybe we don't want to talk about it because we don't have enough time? Any thoughts, Nick? How this happened?
Spring? I don't know.
Maybe.
Spring just brings it out of people. The pollen is in the air, and it gets in your head. It's how the fucking Last of Us starts. This we are
I
living through the beginning of the Last of Us.
I would normally point to something like it's June. It's June is a time that because of E3 used to be there, that's when a lot of announcements are made. But I don't think hardly any of these are just announcements. This is just the way things fell this week. Nothing last week, even less the week before. This week it was an explosion. So let's get into games.
Okay.
You played Pragmata.
Yes, I played Pragmata, the new game
Mm-hmm.
from Capcom, uh, which they teased way back in 2020 has like a launch title for the PS5. Then it went radio silent for years and finally got re-announced a couple years ago with a much more like solid announcement. And it's finally out. And I think this game is awesome. This is the hacking shooter game. So
Mm-hmm.
we had played it at PAX and talked about it a little, and there's a whole lot of like rub your stomach and pat your head style gameplay to it, where you're playing a third person shooter where you're aiming down the sights with L2, shooting with R2, and you're using the dual joysticks to move around like you would any third person shooter. But in addition to that, you're using the face buttons on the controller to hack, to basically play this mini game to make the enemies vulnerable. Because normally you can't really hurt them just by shooting them. you have to hack them first. And that hacking minigame, a little grid comes up on screen. It's transparent, so you can see through it, and so you can still see enemies around you. But that little grid is filled with icons, and you have to pass through certain icons to do more damage and get to a destination. When you get to that destination, you hack the enemy, and they kind of pop open. As you'll see in the video soon, all of the enemies are robots. And so it's got this really cool design where, they're gray and blocky at first, but then when you hack them, parts of them just literally pop open. And they're filled with like this kind of accordion, bright blue stuff. And so it's very easy to tell who's been hacked and who hasn't, because you go from a very gray color block to a very bright blue color block, and okay, that's the enemy I can shoot. But what makes the hacking so interesting is, as you go through the game, you can start augmenting it. You can start choosing what tiles show up. So I'm going to pass through these icons to open the enemy, but then if they're already opened, I can hack them again to do more damage, or I can hack them again to make them overheat. I can add mods to the hacking so that if I pass through those icons, it will do more damage. Or if I pass through, I can confuse them so that they start attacking other people, or I can freeze them so that they stop moving. Or you can just get into all these fun customizations about how the hacking actually works with the shooting. And that it's so much fun because the grid itself will change depending on the enemy. The basic enemy is like a 5x5 square grid, but some big enemies or bosses will have like a weird rectangle that's like super tall. Others will have kind of a diagonal grid. And so that shape changes how you relate to it because it's just unusual. Sometimes if you get caught by a big enemy, you'll have to hack in a little maze to get out. And actually, now I should mention, you're actually playing as two characters. The guy doing the shooting is not the person doing the hacking. So in the video, you can see that you have a little girl on your back at all times. You're just kind of carrying her piggyback style throughout the whole game. And she's the one doing the hacking because she's actually an android. So the story is basically you show up to this moon base to do some repairs. Like you're basically just a repair guy. Like, there's some shit going on in the moon. This moon base that people know about, because in this world, Luna filament is something that was discovered on the moon, and it can basically be used to 3D print anything. And so very early on, when you're coming into the base, you see this big old tower with this disc around it. And that disc is 3D printing the tower as it goes up. So you can 3D print anything. And so you go here and it's empty. It's like, oh, where is everybody? Why is nobody coming to meet us? Shit happens. You're the only survivor. And you come across this little android girl named Diana. Or you name her Diana because she's got a computer name. And you kind of just go about. She takes an instant liking to you. And the dynamic between them is really sweet, even if it's like really quick. So basically, she takes a liking to you, and you kind of need her help in order to get out. And so you kind of quickly decide to work together to get back to Earth. The dynamic between them, in the very beginning, your main character, Hugh, is like, this is why you can't trust a robot. And then when he meets Diana, he's like, oh, okay, I'm going to call you Diana. Oh, so blah, blah, blah. Instantly, like, humanizes her. So, that arc of, oh, I don't trust you because you're an android, and over the course of the game, I'm going to learn to see you as a person. Nah, we're going to throw that out the window. Immediate humanization, an immediate connection.
Anthropomorphization.
Yeah, which is kind of nice because there's been a lot of sad dad games, from God of War to The Last of Us, the typical, dad going through some horrible situation with a child and being like, I'm gonna protect you. I'm gonna fuck the world up for you. The sad dad. This is not that type of game. These two people, they really like each other. There's like a really nice dynamic between them where they really support each other. And after a lot of big events in the game, they're just like, hey, high five. Yeah. And it's like, oh, this is like a sweet relationship that's not based on trauma and both people kind of being miserable in a miserable world. Like, hey, this is nice. And
AC
that,
Ray says, should we discuss the internet controversy while we discuss the game?
yeah, I'll get to that.
Okay.
But yeah, I think the relationship is really nice. And even if the characters are thin, I think that relationship helps you get attached to the characters throughout the game. But it's really about the combat. And the combat is so good. The upgrades that you get to your weapons, the new weapons you get, the new hacking modules you get, all of them feel like they change the game in a substantial way. I want to explore every corner of this world because I want to get every upgrade material I can, because every upgrade feels like it significantly changes how I interact with things. The loadout that I was using in the beginning that felt really effective and really powerful, I'm no longer using that because I kept getting new things that I wanted to play around with and realizing, oh, this is actually really cool too. So it feels like a super well-paced, super tightly designed game where all of the systems interact with each other in just the perfect way. Like everything, I would use the image of like a bunch of people sitting on each other's knees in a circle so that if one person stands up, everyone falls. But if everyone sits down at the right time, everyone is like perfectly balanced. And that's what this game feels like. Everything feels like it's connected in a perfect circle. It's just so, like I said, so tightly designed. That's really, really impressive. And it's really fun to play. But all of the controversy about it, naturally, because we live in a world of, well, Michael Jackson movie just came out, the Epstein files, something else just happened. But everyone is talking about Diana, the little girl android who's like very precocious, but like very innocent. And the game almost goes out of its way not to sexualize her, not to like make
Good.
that even a possibility.
Good.
Her default costume is like this big old puffy jacket, but she also runs around barefoot because that's how the android charges. And so it's like, oh, it doesn't go out of its way to sexualize her, but also if you're like a weirdo foot guy, maybe that doesn't even
What?
matter because
Why? Why
be-
are people even thinking about that?
because it's the internet.
Oh,
And the internet flattens everything to where the most extreme edge cases can feel mainstream because the internet just like flattens all the relationship and it flattens all popularity.
AC Ray said misandrists are claiming men can't have paternal feelings towards children until their own are born, and even then it's iffy. What?
So basically, the presence and the emphasis of the little girl, which, and I don't know, maybe it's because she's younger than Ellie was in The Last of Us. And maybe it's just because The Last of Us didn't try to portray Ellie as like cute. She's like, it's on the other hand, people are claiming it's a psyop to help declining birth rates. I don't know where that's coming from. But basically the controversy is about, look, you have a game that stars a little girl. How is that little girl portrayed? I think the game does a good job portraying her as a little girl. It doesn't sexualize her. She's very cute. Throughout the game, you can find basically 3D printed blueprints for toys. So you can give her a race car, you can give her a slide, you can give her a skateboard, you can give her basketballs, flowers, a campfire, all that stuff. And through those, she'll talk to you about them of like, oh, this is a basketball. Like, what does it do? It's weirdly heavy. Oh, it's a slide. And there's animations of her playing with all of the toys. And so it's again a very sweet, like, oh, you're kind of giving this kid toys and you get to watch the kid play with toys. And there's a sweetness to that. But because the internet corrupts everything around it, before the game even came out, so in the chat, AC Ray says, Rule 34, of course, holds true, which resulted in Reddit's Rule 4 closing the Pragmata channel. I didn't know that the channel got closed, but I do remember that before the game came out, the mods of the Pragmata Reddit had to ban a bunch of people for posting sexualized images of Diana, because the internet will make porn of anything, even an underage android. But I feel like I need to stress that this all exists outside of the game, and the game itself is like actually just a sweet story of this guy sort of encountering a kid that he didn't expect and being really supportive of her and her being supportive of him, coupled with like some absolute pitch perfect action gameplay.
Nice. I remember playing it. I remember being incredibly frustrated by it because you're trying to fight and dodge and everything else while you're trying to hack. And as you said, it's a, rub your tummy and pat your head kind of game, and I am not good at that kind of stuff. So I did not do
Yeah,
do well.
it
Another
emphasizes
game that I appreciate is probably very good that I even more so I cannot play that game.
and there are times in the middle of a fight where I'll often forget certain things because when you are hacking, you can also move with the control sticks because you hack with the face buttons and you move with the control sticks. But a lot of times my brain forgets that. And so I'll move and move and move and shoot. And when I start hacking, I stop and I stand still. I need to remember, like, no, I can keep moving. I can jump.
You have to
I
keep
can
moving.
dodge. I can do all this stuff.
You have to do these things.
It gives you a lot of variety of weapons, but a lot of times in the middle of the fight, I'm so focused on hacking that I forget, oh, I had like a stasis net and I was being overwhelmed by enemies. I could have just frozen them all in place, but I forgot to switch my weapons because I was so focused on hacking. So I should also mention, one of the things I love about the mechanics is a lot of the side weapons you get. You have like a basic pistol that you can then upgrade to a rifle, but basic pistol. A lot of the side weapons you get, which count as like a laser weapon, a shotgun, the stasis net, a decoy, all of these things you can get, but they're all limited use. So the shotgun, it begins with only 4 shots. So you'll find it in the level and pick it up, but you only have 4 shots, and you can easily burn through that in a single fight. But you'll also find the shotgun again. And so the game, I think it does an excellent job of making a lot of the mechanics limited use, which in my head means I want to hoard it. I don't want to use the shotgun. I don't want to use these abilities because they're limited use. I want to hang on to them for a boss fight. But it also keeps throwing these resources at you. Like, you'll find a shotgun, you'll find a laser weapon, you'll find other things, you'll find more hacking modules, because all those hacking modules confuse, freeze, overheat, do more damage. Again, all limited use, but you'll find more throughout the level. And so that means you're constantly like changing your loadout. The loadout you go into a level with is not the loadout you end it with, because you'll go in, you'll use them up, and then you'll keep finding more. And the fact that the game keeps throwing resources at you means that I don't feel the need to hoard. I feel like I have the freedom to use those resources because I know the game will give them back to me, but in a slightly different configuration that means I'm constantly experimenting with the loadout. and I'm constantly experimenting with new hacking modules. And so I'm not just the game does a really good job forcing me out of my mechanical comfort zone in a way that I think a lot of other games are not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember it being gorgeous. I remember it playing very well. I
Yeah.
remember not being able to play it very well myself. So is this going to overtake your love of Crimson Desert?
Oh, no way. No way. God, I want so bad to go back to Crimson Desert. There's a huge patch this week that
Mhm.
added new pets. You can get a bird as a pet. I want to get a pet bird, but also there's a mechanic where if you're dual wielding weapons, you can throw one of those weapons at someone. I want to
I
do that.
when I talk about the game that I played, I wish I had that very
Oh,
badly.
yeah, there's a lot in Crimson Desert that I want to play. Also, real quick, I did finish Replaced, the 2D pixel art cyberpunk story that I talked about last week. I did finish
Replaced?
that game.
Yeah.
Really good. The combat in that game is the real highlight. It just has such a good flow and rhythm to it. But it's also really hard. And so when you beat a bunch of enemies, you get this real sense of like, fuck you. Uh, there was like a deep revolutionary core to that game. There's one part where uh, you're basically an android, a robot in a human body. And
Mhm.
there's one point where you break into your old office to try to like get back into the mainframe. And a bunch of security guards and cops show up, uh, being like, "Oh, Warren, you're back. Please come with us. It's not safe here. Come with us." But by this point, you've been on the outskirts of the cyberpunk city, and you've been fighting the cops that are basically killing all of the people that live on the outskirts of the city. And this robot is like looking at these guys, going, "No, I've learned cops aren't here to help people." And then you just fuck up all of them. And the fact that it had that line of, "Oh, Warren, you're back. Let us take you to safety." And the robot's like, "No, I've
It,
learned
all caps
cop,
are bastards.
cops aren't here to help people." And then you fight them. I was like, "Oh, this is like real timely right here."
Yeah, no kidding. I'm sorry. I am needing to charge my headset because I forgot to charge it
Oh,
this week.
okay.
So keep talking, even though you're looking at my knees right now, or
Yeah.
might be looking at my keyboard.
Yeah, I think the game is good. I think the platforming sections are the lower point because a lot of the hyper detailed pixel art and the fact that the camera is pulled back so far means that sometimes I just don't know where to jump. Like I'll get to a point where I'm hanging onto a ledge and I don't know if I jump up or left or right. And if I jump wrong, I die. And the checkpoint is like just a little bit too far back. And so it's like always this little bit of irritation and oh, I missed the jump and I gotta do all this again. But I like the story. So it's surprisingly long. The game itself is like 10 hours or so, but it feels like a good season of a TV show. Like it feels
Mhm.
expansive. You spend a lot of time in this world and with these characters. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm glad
cool
that you
game.
enjoyed it, and ended up spending. You spent how much time with it ultimately?
Oh, I don't know. I think I spent like 16, 18 hours with it, but I was playing it on the Rogue Ally, and so a lot of times I would just pause it, put the ally down, go do something else for an hour, and then come back to it. So that time limit is not to be trusted.
Um, all right, so getting on to my game, I played Windrose, and that is it's a survival pirate game with a lot of people were characterizing it as being the Black Flag that we wished that Skull and Bones had been,
Yeah.
and that there's sailing, there is ship combat, but there's also an element of survival in it.
And also like specifically the ship combat, it looked like Black Flag
Oh
combat.
yeah, it definitely took a lot of cues from Black Flag. You mean right down to you can trigger your crewmen to start singing sea shanties. So yeah, it's Black Flag. The ship combat is the Black Flag part of it. That being said, the rest of the game is a very classic survival uh, base building. You start with nothing and work your way up. It is. Have I died? A lot. So much dying at the beginning. You start with you are on a ship and you're under the belly of the ship, in the hold of the ship, and it's being overtaken by pirates, and there is an artifact of some kind on the ship itself. And the pirate, I can't remember, is it the pirate Roberts? I think it is some very notorious pirate that is, I believe, a member of Blackbeard's crew, a lieutenant or high placed. He attacks your ship and sinks it in order to get this artifact. And you're there, you're fighting, it gives you a little bit of tutorial with the fighting, and then you end up shipwrecked on an island. And you slowly make your way into finding food, finding fire, finding shelter. You end up finding the doctor on the from the ship, who also washes up, and he becomes somebody that hangs out in your base. But the island itself has things like dodos and boars, and there's a couple of buried treasures, and there's some enough resources to get you by. And you have to do everything. You have to cook food that gives you certain buffs, and you have to make find weapons. You have to make your own weapons. You have to make your own armor because you come up with nothing but your tattered rags on you. I am still on this initial island. It is in early access, so this isn't the final game, but it is a very fleshed out early access. I
Okay.
have yet to go sailing. I
Okay.
am still trying to level up. You learn very early on that it's hard. It's hard to level up so that you can get advanced.
It's hard to be a pirate out here.
It's hard to be a pirate strapped on a desert island. It really, really is. The the um the actual, base building and stuff is not terribly hard. But the combat, you can easily be overwhelmed by like if you're facing 3 enemies, whether they be dodos or um they have zombie type, they call them the drowned. They have zombie type
Okay.
things. If you meet 3 of them, you're kind of screwed. And it
Birds, zombies, same difference. They're both
for
terrible.
they're both terrible. And oh fuck pigs. I hate pigs. Oh god, the
Zombies, I can
pigs.
deal with zombies, but pigs.
Pigs, yeah. The combat is fun, but it is challenging. You do not want to get hit, because if you get hit, it staggers you to the point of you can't recover
Mm.
quickly enough. And my biggest challenge I am finding is stamina. That it takes so much stamina to swing a sword that you
Is
end up really being challenged a lot, because it's like, just one more, hit him one more time, one more time. Damn it.
is this a secret Souls-like game?
I don't think I would call it a secret Souls-like game. It's like Rust or any other survival game that when you start, you are so weak and you are so gimped by the mechanics of things like things like stamina, that it becomes a real issue. Like, this guy is managing his stamina very well. I have not learned
Ooh.
that. Yeah, as you can see, there is a lot of dodging around. These are the guy on the screen right now is battling drown.
Okay,
Something
man.
also that I have found, if you are playing this, there is a target lock on, and it is a double-edged sword. If you have the target lock on, you don't whiff like the guy just did, wasting stamina and whiffing. But if you lock on target, sometimes it makes it very hard to walk away and gain stamina because you're just locked in. And you can get hung up on much of the environment, like trees or shelves if you're in a cave or something. It yeah, I'm breathing because I'm watching this fight and it's giving me stress just
Man,
watching this
okay,
fight.
like looking at this, because that combat looked very Soulsy. It looked like the
Don't tell me
beginning.
that.
It looked like the beginning of Dark Souls of like, oh yeah, I gotta manage my stamina. These guys will kill you in an instant. I'm like, oh fuck. Are you telling me this is a game with Souls-like combat, Black Flag ship combat? And so I'm not usually a fan of survival mechanics, but if it's got those other two,
Yeah.
oh god, I
I'm gonna
might
see
have
if
to
let me
check
see if
this
I
out.
can pull up a video that actually shows the the ships because I think that will
Okay, I
see
have
this
not
is
seen
all in the
Legion season 3, but AC Wraith says I finally watched the rest of Legion this week, so I have that season 3 giant pig slash drug on the mind. I never saw season 3, but now I might have to.
let me see if I can get to
Yeah, I guess I'll say now I won't be on the podcast next week because I'll be flying to Florida.
Oh,
So
that's
I
right. You told me that.
Yeah, but I need things to watch slash play on the plane. So Wind Rose and Legion might have to be those things.
Yeah, it's also a very fun to watch. But I will let me get to you to some spot where we have.
So you said you're leveling up. Is that like how you get stronger in the game? Is it a matter of like crafting armor,
It's
or is it just
crafting
a matter
armor
of
and also upgrading your armor, upgrading your stuff, upgrading your armor, your weapons, everything else. It's a matter of upgrading, also getting new uh, patterns and new schematics so that you can build more stuff. But here's an example of the oh, come on, get back onto your boat and go
oh,
somewhere. Come on,
oh,
just
while he does
sail.
that, AC Ray said, I loved season 1 of Legion. After having finished the series, I can safely say, man, season 1 was great. That's my review of the entire series. Maybe
Good.
maybe I should stop then because I only saw season 1, which actually was great. Highly recommended. Oh,
So you
that actually also is a nice lead in to a news story we have later.
oh, good to know. Remind me what that is.
Okay.
So you have a ship. You start with a little dinghy. You end up
This is the Black Flag.
if you're lucky, you can actually get possession of a real ship. And yeah, it's full on Black Flag, as you can see. It is Black Flag ship combat.
You've got that sort of wide it's not a reticle, but that wide icon that shows you uh
Where your
where your
cannonballs will
cannons are
go.
going to go. It's
And you
red
have
that
to
I see
pick if you're going to pick
reloading.
sail shot or cannonballs.
Oh, yeah.
And you are regularly running up against Blackbeard's fleet, which has is patrolling the seas, and you can board. You disable the ship and board them, and you can be in a position where you're like, "Oh crap, I'm engaged with this one ship, and here comes another one. Ah, damn it!" I guess if I was going to pick one rule for this game, it's ads, 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 ads. So many ads, and hopefully he will get
Like
this down
ads
so you can see the boarding.
ads has in Hey,
additional,
buy this thing, or
yeah, an additional ad into the group. You've
okay,
almost
okay,
beat this one guy, and here comes another one. God damn it.
okay. Not ads like Mike. Oh my God, there's 3 now.
Yeah, no,
But
as
you
you can see, there's
okay, you
another
weren't
ship
kidding.
coming there's 2 more that have just added to this fight, and he's just disabled the first one and needs to board. Oh, and could he get it? Oh, he good. He got the boarding, because you have to come up to them boarding slow enough
Oh,
so that
that's
you can
nice. You
actually create the boarding. And
actually hook
then,
onto it, and the ships like have to squeeze together.
yep.
And as they're doing that, you're shooting at the other people.
Oh, shoot, he missed that. Okay, good. Good. You got back up. Yeah, and then you board and you have a deck fight with your men and the other men of the enemy ship. And so it it's and then when you're done, you can decide, do I want to keep this ship? Do I want to scuttle this ship? And then just move on. It looks like the ads are not, because you've boarded them. It looks like they don't
Yeah, they're not
actually
they're not continually
they don't
firing on you.
continuing fire on you, which is good, because I can't imagine you being able to
But I
survive
can
that.
see in the mini map that they're still there.
Mhm.
So whenever he finishes the boarding situation, I think he'll have to go back to the fight.
Yeah. Wow, he's got a good gun. I wish I had that gun.
So
I've run
you
out of
haven't
gunpowder,
you
so I
haven't got
can't even.
to the ship yet?
No, I haven't done any sailing at all, because I still want to get, if I can't do the buried treasure that raises a bunch of zombie dead on the basic island, I figure that I probably shouldn't be considering going out to sea just yet.
I don't know. I think you might want to just risk it, because to continue with the Souls-like comparison, I remember when you played Night Rain and you got to the first boss and you're like, I keep dying at this fucking boss. I'm gonna beat this fucking boss. And then I told you, no, Edie, you're
You're
kind of meant to die.
you're not
That
supposed to beat that first boss.
that boss is supposed to kick your ass. And you're like, I spent hours reloading the game so that I wouldn't die. Just
Well, in this case, and I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time plugging my headset back in. There we go.
oh yeah,
In
yeah, he's
this
back to the ship
case,
combat. Oh, now there's 3 other ships.
right. Yeah, and you need to get past all of these flotillas to get from island to island. Once you get into an island, you can set a fast travel point. So you don't have to do that in the future.
Mm, that's nice.
And this is a little catch, so it's a little fast boat that he's going against. Um, so yeah, you could see it's Black Flag. It's Black Flag with possibly, I don't know, but it sounds like Souls-like combat.
The world is like slowly pushing you towards like Dark Souls.
I don't know how I feel about that. Like I've said last week, if I ever play Dark Souls, it's going to be in my apartment with nobody watching, and I will not tell anyone
Listen,
that I've done
you
it.
won't play Dark Souls. By the time Elden Ring 2 comes out, you'll be like, maybe I should give it a shot.
So, so this game at the beginning, you start on a very small island, just enough to your starter island, just enough to get you along, get you enough resources that you build your first basic, my first base. And every time you die, it raises a little icon that says you died here. That island, I've played it 3 or 4 days now, for anywhere between a few hours to a lot of hours. That island is so covered in red icons. You almost can't see. At this point, when I die, I can't really tell where I died last to go pick up all the stuff I dropped, because there's so many graveyard markers all over that place.
The sand is red with your blood.
The sand is red with my blood. I
Wow.
have died to fuck crabs. I hate crabs. Oh my God, I hate crabs.
Crabs, pigs, dodos.
Dodos are kind of, you get over dodos pretty easily. Early on,
Okay,
you're like,
okay,
fuck dodos, and it's like, okay, I'm good with dodos now. Then it's like, fuck
okay.
boars, and I'm sort of okay with boars unless there's 3 of them.
Mm.
It's a definitely a fun game that is very, very deep, and I am very much looking forward to getting my first crew that will help me. But I know that in order to get my first crew, I have to fight pirates. Because I have done some research. I actually saw this it was served up to me on YouTube. And I was just like, yeah, sure, I'll watch somebody playing some new game. And I saw it and was like, oh, I really think I'm going to like this game. And so far, I do. I
Nice.
recommend at least early access. I recommend Windwoes. I recommend Windrose.
Windwoes?
Windwoes. I'm having a very fun time so far.
Cool. I
I'm really glad nobody's watching me play because it is so embarrassing. I'm playing it with a controller on PC. It says that it's not optimized for a controller, and I will
oh.
agree.
Hmm.
But I don't I the it's a for me a double-edged sword, another one. The controller obviously makes it easier to move but harder for combat. The
Hmm.
keyboard makes it much easier for combat, much harder to move.
Interesting.
So it's a
I would have
it
thought it'd be like the other way around.
yeah, no, it's I think that there's a certain level of lag that I am detecting on strikes that you don't
Hmm.
have with a mouse.
Oh, interesting.
So the mouse works great and the keyboard works great, except I don't work great with keyboards. So I
Yeah.
may have to
Yeah.
play
I think I'd like to
elsewhere.
get this, but I'm definitely gonna play with a controller because I don't like playing with the keyboard.
Yeah, I believe it is $30 as a
Yes.
early
Yes.
access, and I think that it is definitely worth $30 for the full game. No question, it is worth $30. And the fact that it is early access, it is impressively good for early access. So if you are craving Black Flag, I I I'm not sure that Ubisoft, and we'll talk about it in the news, Ubisoft finally giving details on the remake of Black Flag has may have something to do with the fact that what's the name of the developer? Do you have it off your
For
head?
Windrose,
Windrose.
Kraken Express.
Right. That
Oh,
Kraken Express, what?
this is also being published by Pocket Pair, the
Oh,
developer of
really?
Power World.
Really?
I remember hearing that they were publishing some
Interesting.
games. This is one of them.
I the fact that this has come out in early access and is getting such good traction, is that part of why Ubisoft is inspired to give us more details about Black Flag to remind us that they were the ones that invented this?
Man, they were supposed to talk about Black Flag last week and then
Mhm.
delayed their reveal video stuff to this week. I don't know what the hell is everything about Ubisoft is just like on fire and chaotic.
Yeah. And you know, I'm sure that you've heard it elsewhere, and I have to agree. This is what Skull and Bones should have been,
Yeah.
could have been, if they'd have just kept their eyes on the prize and stopped being distracted by NFTs and tech bros, by edge lords that are at Ubisoft in their ear telling them that they need to invest in crypto or create their own crypto or whatever kind of other stupid bullshit. This is the game they should have made, could have made, easily made. They actually made almost everything about this game to start off with. The fact that someone finally went and did it for them, I think needs to be rewarded. If only to send, I'm not big about just do something to send a message, but I think this is an important moment to send a message to companies like Ubisoft to say, you've got a winning combination, capitalize it, give the people what they want. Don't just think you know better than the people and just Do the right thing. Sometimes reaching for the low-hanging fruit is the best move. And this is a game that reached for the low-hanging fruit, which would have been low-hanging fruit for Ubisoft. They finally just did it.
Yeah. It's like the design feels like it's right there with Black Flag. I think that's what I like about Pragmata too, is it's not trying to be a big, grand open world game. It's just like we had an idea for a really cool combat mechanic and we made a game around it. And
Right.
it's really good.
That's all you have to do. Make a good combat mechanic, give it a good story, and make it look good.
Yeah.
And send it on its way. If you want to go deeper into it, establish the IP first, then make a giant open world if that's what you really want to do. But you don't need to
Well, on that,
reinvent the wheel with, a steampunk AI driven wheel. You
on
don't
that,
need to.
we could talk about Ubisoft.
Well, I have nothing else to talk about as far as games, so we may as well hit the news.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll do that now. Let me get to where I need to be. Let's hit. Oh no. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh.
All right. So let's I forgot to stop the music before, so it's sitting looping behind the scenes. Let's
Has
hit
it
the
been
news.
looping for the past week?
Yes, it has.
Oh my God.
This is the GameHounds news, the news and commentary for the week in gaming for the Gamer Edie and Nick DiNicola. And our first item is
Ubisoft finally showed off footage and basically revealed the Black Flag remake, officially titled Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced, and it actually looks pretty good. I went into watching the video thinking, okay, we've heard a lot about this. The old game still exists. I could go back and play that. Do I really need this remake? But watching this, it made me want to go back to Black Flag. It made me want to play this game again. There are a couple things about it that give me hesitation. They've said that this is only Kenway's story. That's the pirate. So all of the modern day stuff from Black Flag has been taken out of the game. So basically, all of the modern day connective tissue, the frame narrative that Assassin's Creed is kind of infamous for, that's all gone. It's just a pirate game, which I think is a little disappointing because Black Flag had one of the most clever frame narratives where you played as a guy at Ubisoft making the Black Flag game, but you were owned by Abstergo, like the evil corporation. And so you were kind of uncovering a conspiracy at Ubisoft. Years ahead, it was like, oh, wait a minute, is Ubisoft the villain? Ubisoft is working with the bad guys? But it was
Fun
such a
fact,
cool
Ubisoft is working with the bad guys.
but it was such a cool frame narrative, and to hear that has been completely taken out of the game feels really sad. It feels like it's missing one of the things that made that game so clever. But
Well,
on the
I'm
plus
gonna
side,
I'm gonna give them credit that they're doing exactly what I just talked about. They finally have decided to strip it down and do the best parts of Black Flag and re-release it as its own game.
that is true. Yeah.
This was easy for them, and they should have done it years ago
So,
instead of
and one
waiting
of
for somebody else to do it first and then trying to capitalize on that.
some stuff that they've improved. They've changed the combat because the combat was very early Assassin's Creed style, focus on parries, where you're going to be blocking the whole time, and when someone attacks you, you hit the counterattack button and you'll basically execute them. And so it was a very, very simple type of combat system that led to a lot of fancy animations that looked really good, but mechanically was like pretty easy. They've revamped that into a much more elaborate system. It's not like a third-person action game like the modern Assassin's Creed have been, but it's it exists at a little in between that I think actually looks really good. When they showed off the combat sections, it looked fun and it looked like you had a nice variety of tools at your disposal. It didn't look too animation heavy. You had like a fun grapple hook that let you drag people off of roofs. So that was cool. Also, this when this game originally came out, it was back when Assassin's Creed was infamous for its tailing missions, which is where a character would walk through a city and you had to follow them while staying out of sight. And they were infamously picky about how close could you get. Oh, you were seen. You have to start the whole thing over again.
Oh.
Very frustrating. This has revamped that system where if you get caught, you just start fighting and it's not an instant fail. So there is no instant fail. Oh, this is what they're showing now. The original, you're just kind of walking and following these guys. And oh, hey, look behind me. Let me shit. I'm gonna run behind this building so that they don't see me, but they fucking saw me, and now I have to start over. And in the new version, he just runs out into the street and stabs a dude.
Yeah.
So they've done a lot to update the stuff that was outdated. Even if I'm kind of upset at them removing too much, I think that what they adding looks really, really impressive. And obviously the graphics look really good. It's one of those situations where if you just look at the resynced version, you go, oh yeah, that's Black Flag. That's exactly what it looks like. But then when you see the old game, you realize, oh, that it looks like how I remember the game looking.
Right. Right. Our memories are always so much better, especially for games. The current
is
gen
true.
games at the time
I've
looked so
always
much
thought
better to us in our brains than they actually looked.
my memories are always in high definition. Like my memories
Yeah.
are always in ultra HD, even if the game came out on PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
And
So
yeah, it keeps all the combat. It looks good. It looks like they had the assignment and they did the assignment. And again, it's like, boy, you spent a decade developing Skull and Bones. Like you just could have done this. And
yeah.
they're doing this.
I think that they waited a week to show this because they were waiting for Windrose to come out, which it did, I believe, last week or the week before.
Mhm.
And they wanted enough people to see Windrose so that when this launched, it would be fresh in their minds and the reaction would be, this looks so much better than Windrose. And it does.
Yeah,
Just
graphically, definitely.
graphically, it looks so much better. Even the ship combat looks so much more dynamic than Windrose's. I mean, you could actually see the cannonballs
Yeah. Well,
flying.
because this is also
This is
based on a
way more
game that
cinematic.
exists. And I think this game is also closer to release. Like this is coming out in June. Windrose is still in early access, and it will stay that way for whoever knows how long, probably a year at least. So, like, this is closer to full release.
Right. And it's also Ubisoft versus a
Yeah,
small
they've got
independent
a
studio that
Ubisoft
have been
has a
working
lot of
on this for
money.
years. Yeah, they have a lot more money, they have a lot more assets, they have the engine that they can work with that Windrose's developers, Kraken Express couldn't, or Kraken Unlimited, whatever it was, Kraken Express hasn't. So they're a much bigger player and they have a lot more resources to be able to throw at this. That being said, I don't know that they would have put this out had somebody else not gone and done what they should have done in the first
So,
place. That
somewhere
somebody started to finish the assignment for them and they're like, "Oh, wait, we can do that."
I'm imagining Yves Guillemot in like the Star Wars Emperor's throne room, and someone comes up to him, Yves, we have a report that someone is making a pirate game. Oh, they beat us to it.
Right. We will show them what a pirate game shall be. And that's what they did.
Yeah.
It's Am I excited for this? Yes. Do I think that this can live
Oh, Julie.
with in at the same time as
Windrose?
Windrose? Yeah.
I definitely think so, because this Assassin's Creed has always been more actiony, and Windrose looks like it wants to be like a pirate sim.
Mhm.
You want to work your way up from a puny little bird fighting weakling to a big pirate hero. And Assassin's Creed is like, no, you get to be the hero from the beginning.
Right.
I
And one of them I think is very narrative and story driven, whereas the other one really is this gigantic open sea
yeah, it's more
of
emergent story.
right. And it's also survival, whereas Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced is not a whatever.
Yeah, resynced.
It isn't. So they're two very, very different games with very similar one part of the mechanics being very similar.
Yeah.
That being said, I am excited for both. Yeah, Black Flag looks pretty awesome, and
better
I'm
than
there
I
for
thought
it.
it would be. I
I
also
don't. I think
feel
I
like
expected it to be good. They made some very clever tactical choices about the difference in the gameplay, I think.
yeah.
And they were the right choices.
Yeah. And I also want to take this moment when we're talking about pirates as a PSA to all the world that everyone needs to watch the TV show Black Sails.
Black Sails, yeah.
Black Sails, because it's
I
so
started to
fucking
watch
good.
it, and it was not really capturing me. I'm going to give it another shot.
It's so good. I have a distinct memory of watching the first episode and being like, oh, there's a big pirate battle and it's really cool. I'm like, yeah, this show is awesome. I like this. And then I keep watching because when I started watching it, the whole thing had already finished. So I'm just binging the episodes. And then I was like on episode 4 and I realized, wait a minute. We've spent the past 3 episodes in Nassau. We haven't gone back out into the ocean. And I'm like, I didn't even realize that because the politics of the pirates and the interpersonal drama was so compelling that I was like, oh, they hooked me with the pirate battle and then they kept me with the characters. And I was like, oh, okay, this is a good show.
So my first item is no, you keep going because my items are much smaller than yours, and the
Okay.
one
Well, then
big item is
I will-
kind of connected to yours.
I will stick on the Ubisoft train and link back to what AC Wraith had been talking about with Legion. Noah Hawley is talking about the showrunner
headline. Oh, okay. I'm
So-
not okay with this headline that goes into two different lines.
Two
Okay,
lines.
keep going. Yeah.
We're gonna edit this. Bring that back. Bring that back. The point is, there was a Kotaku article about Noah Hawley talking about the Far Cry TV show that he's working on, and they fairly point out that his description of video games is like a little outdated. He talks about, quote, when you play a video game, you only really move forward through the gameplay section, and then you have these cutscenes that you can skip. So when you go to adapt these games, you have to be aware that makes the human drama kind of irrelevant to the storyline. That is death for a show. And the Kotaku article correctly points out that that's kind of an outdated view of video games, that, oh yeah, all the story is told in the cutscenes and the gameplay is where you kind of move forward. And they kind of make fun of him for that. But also, I'm a big fan of everything Noah Hawley has done, from Fargo to Legion to Alien Earth. And I know he's done some other stuff too, but that guy knows how to make a TV show. So honestly, whatever he does with Far Cry, I am excited for.
Okay.
Giving him Far Cry letting him make a TV show Far Cry is the equivalent of letting Alex Garland make an Elden Ring movie. It's like, you know what? That's an inspired choice. Fucking go for it. So even if he doesn't understand games, he knows TV, and I'm really excited to see what he does.
I'm still editing things.
Well, we'll move on to a different
Yeah, I can't do it. I can't do it. I without wrecking it. I'm getting close. I'm getting very close to getting
Ollie
it to
misunderstands games when he makes great TV, so I'm excited to see what he does with Far Cry.
I'm still working it. I'm gonna get that. While you talk, I'm gonna be slowly working it.
I try to make that as long as possible. You realize that, right?
I know.
That was the whole point.
I know. So
Okay.
next item.
Next item. Let's get into like the big news. Like the fucking Xbox had a crazy week where basically they had something like every day of the week.
Hmm.
So later in the week, Asha Sharma sent an email and had like an all hands meeting where she outlined the plan to revitalize Xbox. Uh, life is very poorly paced. Like, if I was God, I would be, no, man. Because earlier in the week, there was an update to Game Pass when she basically said that effective immediately, Game Pass prices would go down to $22.99 a month from $29.99 a month, but Call of Duty would no longer be included in the game in Game Pass day one. The Call of Duty games currently on Game Pass will stay on Game Pass. They will come to Game Pass like a year or so later, but they will not be coming out day one.
Right.
So the whole discussion about what to do with it we had last week was like resolved on Tuesday.
Yeah, yeah.
But
And
then
I will say that I had a conversation with someone else who said when I posed my idea from last week of make it affordable, one price, and limited time. You get 1 month or 2 weeks or 1 week with the latest Call of Duty, and then after that, it's taken off and you have to play it. You buy it. And the answer to that, the counter of that is no, 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 no. Keep it simple. You don't get to play you're only going to get Call of Duty a year after release. Period. The end. I don't know why you're making it more complicated than that. That's what you should be doing. And sure enough, a couple of days later, that's what Asha said.
yeah,
Which is right. That's the right move.
I do think it's the right move. I think they should go even further and
I
all
still
of
say
the
$22 a month is still too expensive.
I'm with you. And I think that gets into the larger question of like, well, how far do you go? I was going to say, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I think all of their first party games should be off Game Pass day one. It should not include first party games. But the whole thing, Asha had an email that kind of laid out her points to revitalizing Xbox. I'm trying to find the whole speech. Okay. At the same time, they said pricing is harder to keep up with. Okay, fine. Where's the goddamn? So the problem is that this talk is split across like 5 different news stories for every website because every website needs to put out multiple news stories a week. And it's not just Kotaku, it's other things like Tech Radar. Any tech blog is like, okay, we're going to take this one item and break it up into 5 different items. But she has said console is the foundation. Xbox will be built to be affordable, personal, and open. At the same time, our new North Star will be daily active players, which is an interesting statement that almost sounds like a very like kind of live servicey platform-esque take on it. It's not about, and also, again, I keep saying they make all these announcements, but it's kind of the same thing because Xbox had stopped reporting sales a long time ago when their sales got too low and it looked bad, and they started reporting player numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So this isn't really a new thing.
No, it's not.
But their focus on saying, hey, it should be affordable is like kind of an interesting take after they infamously raised their prices so much. They did follow that up with lowering the price of Game Pass effective immediately. So that's kind of impressive. She said things like search, discovery, social personalization still feel too fragmented, and people are asking for different tools to grow faster. At the same time, a new generation of players is coming online with different expectations. Their time is split across games, media, and everything else competing for attention. They expect more content in familiar places, want to shape the worlds they play in, and want to create and socialize together, not just play together. These
Mhm.
changes are happening as the industry reshapes around us. Consoles remain large and stable. Windows now represents more players and more hours, and is increasingly where competition is the most time. People have access to more games than ever, even as the cost and time to build blockbuster titles continues to rise, putting pressure on what gets made and how risk is taken. There's a lot of like a very accurate and sobering and honest assessment of where Xbox exists in the marketplace and of the marketplace itself, but not a lot of like details about how they'll change it. It's a lot of vague statements about we're going to improve things. Console is key, but also we want to meet people where they are. We want it to be affordable, so we'll lower Game Pass a little bit, but it'll still be more expensive than it was before. Consoles are still going to be $1,000. It's a lot of saying the right things and following up just enough, like with Game Pass, that it could be heading in the right direction. This also relates to there have been some leaks from Discord, and I think you had this headline too, that people had data mined a collaboration between Discord and Xbox with Game Pass, so that buying Game Pass Ultimate and Discord Nitro gives you a special version of Game Pass, like a Game Pass. It's not. So looking this up, I thought Game Pass had 3 tiers. I thought there was PC, Game Pass Core, and Game Pass Ultimate.
Mhm.
And Game Pass Core, I thought was like, hey, we'll give you 50 games, but that's it. Turns out when I went to Microsoft's website, there was no Game Pass Core. It was PC and it was Ultimate. So I don't know if they changed it or not, which kind of highlights their
They did.
issue.
They did.
I follow the industry and I had forgotten what the Game Pass tiers were.
Yeah, no, the Game Pass tiers, they had a tier that was it was $15 a month. And that was the Game Pass Core.
Okay. And
And
I thought that was still around, but apparently it's not.
well, she did
But
exactly that part she did that I recommend that I said that I would do is one price. Just make it one price. Stop with the tiers and the confused
well,
prices and how much are you paying? You pay
but
one
but
price.
not anymore, because they're bringing back that Game Pass Essential has a bundle with Discord Nitro.
Right, right. And actually, it wasn't just I don't know if it's leaked, but it was actually put, let me put this on the screen. There was a posting on Twitter, and I'm going to be calling it Twitter because that's what it is, that from something called Discord Previews that said Discord
Mm.
Nitro, $9.99 a month subscribers can soon enjoy free access to Xbox Game Pass Starter Edition. This includes over 50 games from the Game Pass library, 10 hours a month of cloud gaming streaming, and Xbox rewards. So it sounds like that is $9.99 used to be the price that allowed you no Game Pass at all, but you had access to multiplayer only, which is what I had got. Was subscribed to that until recently. Um, the Now it seems that Nitro will give you Game Pass, Discord Nitro will give you access to the Game Pass Starter Edition, which so it's actually better than I believe what I had as the Game Pass that allowed you internet
I think
connection, you know,
so.
multiplayer connection.
This is very similar to what the Game Pass Core tier was way back when.
Mhm.
The list of games is different, but I think the price is the same.
Mhm.
And I think it would be interesting because there had been rumors that Xbox was talking with Netflix about something like this.
Right.
If this tier of Game Pass is basically their bundle tier, that maybe Discord is the beginning, but they might also do it with Netflix. Oh, if you get Netflix, you get this special, like, minor tier of Game Pass for free. which is
That's a
like
smart thing
yeah, it's
because
at
one
least
of
an
the
efficient way of
problems
like
with Game Pass is
expanding it.
people aren't using it. There are no subscribers to it. This pumps up their numbers, especially if they match up with Netflix, because everybody has Netflix.
Yes,
That's
but
not a
not
problem.
everybody has an Xbox,
Right.
and
So
so
pretty much
now,
everybody who has an Xbox that has a Netflix account, which is everybody who has a Netflix,
yeah,
will have an account on Game Pass. This is going to sort of inflate their numbers for subscribers. I don't know if this is necessarily a good business move. I don't know if this is going to make them money, but in my own small opinion, I think this is their way of giving up on Game Pass.
I don't think that they will give up on Game Pass. I do think that if they kind of make this the bundle tier, it
Mhm.
is just a way to goose the numbers. I
It's
do
a
think
way
that
to
that's what
goose
it
the
is.
numbers. Right. So it's not Game Pass is going to look huge after this.
Yeah.
It's not going to be huge, but it's going to look huge. It's just changing
Yeah.
the frame. It's not
And
actually changing the picture.
and so that gets into my issue with Game Pass and Microsoft, or not Microsoft, Xbox in general, is that they seem to be relying, like the whole Xbox ecosystem seems to be relying on revenue from Game Pass. But if they're taking Call of Duty off of Game Pass, I think that kind of proves it cannibalized enough sales of Call of Duty
Well, we know that.
that they think they can get more money by taking it off Game Pass and lowering
They
Game Pass
can.
price,
They can, no question. I
which
think that
right
that
away
was established.
undercuts a lot of what Game Pass is.
And I think that there, as I recall, there was leaked documentation or leaked memos showing how much they believed Game Pass did cannibalize off of the last Call of Duty, and it was significant.
Yeah.
It was enough where they said, and it also doesn't surprise me that this is the first thing that Asha Sharma would jump in and stick her hands in to start to fix, because
Yeah.
this was broken. It was very clear after the last Call of Duty sales numbers that Game Pass absolutely affected it, that it reduced a significant amount of sales, something like, I want to say 30 or 40%, some
Okay.
alarming amount.
But
And
and
it didn't increase the and
yeah,
that's
and
what
like the
that's what cost Phil his job, is the fact that they didn't see a massive jump of numbers to Game Pass,
the
and they
subscribers.
also saw no subscribers, right? They didn't see a massive jump in subscribers. They saw significant, but not massive, and they saw a huge loss in sales
So
of Call of Duty.
and so what that means is Xbox is relying entirely on, not entirely, because they do still sell games, but they're relying heavily on Game Pass revenue. But if Game Pass is cannibalizing Call of Duty, then it's also cannibalizing other first party games.
Yeah.
But Xbox also just finished buying Activision. So Game Pass revenue wasn't enough to support Xbox Studios buying new games. Like the Xbox Game Pass revenue had to pay for developing first party games and paying for third party games to be on Game Pass. It wasn't doing that before. Then they bought Activision and became the single biggest publisher in the games industry.
Right.
And those Activision games are also now going to Game Pass, which already wasn't funding Xbox. And now it has to fund even more, but it can't. And so it will, unless they take new games off of Game Pass and just make it like a basic subscription service, I think it will inevitably buckle under its own weight.
Which is what Game Pass was 10 years ago.
No, 10 years, I guess 10 years ago, Xbox just wasn't making games. So
They
it
didn't
kind of
call it,
was a
well,
third party service.
true. Yeah, 10 years ago they were making some
They
games,
were
but
making
they
games,
weren't.
but like they were their cadence of putting out first party games was a lot slower.
Right. Well, when they bought Activision and Bethesda, they at that point got into the game studio business, back into the game studio business in a
Yeah,
very
that was
big
kind of their
way.
big way.
And
And
yeah, Game Pass didn't convert. And now they're going back to their roots, which is a good move of just making Game Pass a place to pick up smaller games and small and medium-sized games that are second party that
well, they're not
are
doing that
in
because,
between you actually of you actually purchasing Activision and Bethesda games.
but they're not actually doing that because all of their first party games, except for Call of Duty, are
Right.
still day one on Game Pass.
I think you're right. I think if they put Fable out day one on Game Pass, it dooms Fable. And
I
I think
have,
that studios that are forced to do that are going to complain mightily because of the history with Call of Duty. They know that they're going to lose sales.
I've been hanging on to a promo code when I got the Ally. It came with a promo code for Xbox Ultimate for a month. I should check when it expires because my plan is to use that when Fable comes out to play
Right.
Fable. And
Right.
then I will play Fable without spending a dime.
Smart man.
But like that kind of sucks for the team developing Fable.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like Asha is saying a lot of good sounding things and seems to recognize where Xbox is in the marketplace and how the marketplace is. But I'm still not entirely sure if she can steer the ship out of the troubled waters. I don't know. There's a lot of like raw Xbox talk, but it's also just like a lot of talk. It's like raw Xbox. We're not changing how we're doing anything. We're still gonna like measure active players. We're still gonna keep prices mostly the same. We're still gonna like Xbox. Gonna kill the Xbox. Everything is an Xbox ad campaign, but also we still want to stream games and put a mobile store. We still want to do all that, but the console is king. So it's a lot of mixed messaging, but positive mixed messaging.
Right. And the only I'd say downside, I don't say bad news about I think misfire in this announcement is the price. It should have been under 20. If they made it 19.99, this would have been a very different thing. And even though it's just a couple of bucks difference,
It feels bigger.
19.99 feels
It
bigger
was
because it's under 20. If it had been 19.99, I think that there would have been universal, overwhelming, holy shit, this is amazing. Right now, there is, okay, we're good with that. We're like you said, mixed messaging. We're cautiously optimistic about this news. What are you looking up?
Wait, why the fuck am I on YouTube? Why the fuck did it default to oh no, Yahoo? Why did it default to Yahoo instead of Google?
How did you get on
Fucking Yahoo. Who uses Yahoo?
I've had that happen. I think that it is a little bit of malware, but I've had that happen where
Yeah.
all of a sudden it switches over to Yahoo and it's a tiny bit of malware that you picked up along the way.
Okay, AgroCrab pricing talk. The developer of Peak, AgroCrab, had a really, really smart talk about they like tweeting it out about pricing and what pricing is and what it feels like. So they said, we had this joke, how much is a game really? In players' mind, what does it mean to spend $5? Well, that's $5. But $6? Well, that's still $5. $4 is also kind of $5. $3 is $2, and $2 is basically free. So we've got these tiers. $12, that's $10. But $13 is $15. And we found that $8 is still $5. It doesn't become $10. $7.99, that's $5, right? So $8 going to $5 is the biggest differential we can find in pricing, and we found it very optimal. And that's why Peak is $8. but it's such a smart way of breaking down the actual price versus what it costs in people's minds. Like
Mhm.
7, no, that's 5. 2, that's free. 5, that's
Mhm.
5. 6 is 5. And when
Mhm.
you talk about Game Pass being like,
$19.99 is under 20.
yeah, 19.99, yeah, it's under
It's
20.
less than $20.
And 22, like 22.99,
Is
that's 20.
25.
That's 25. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
So yeah,
They're not wrong.
they didn't Xbox like didn't get under. It needs to be like maybe 21.99. Is that closer to 20, or
No. I
is
think
it
if
just
the
the
first number
2?
had been a 1, if the first number had
Okay,
been a 1.
basically 20, any number above 19.99 is $25. But then
Yes.
any number above $25 is $30.
Right. Oh, yes. Oh gosh, yes. Thank you for the link to the Peak interview.
Oh, that's good. Okay, it was an interview. That's good.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
so it's
generally speaking, cautiously optimistic about the good sounding news.
yeah,
That's
it's
how I would couch that.
I don't know if I'm excited for the next Xbox, but like I'm very curious. I'm
Mhm.
very curious where it's gonna go and what it's gonna do.
All right, my next item is let's talk about other bits of new information. This is a leak that was leaked by themselves. They leaked it themselves. Star Wars Galactic Racer.
Is that a
There
leak?
it
Does that count?
Yes, because what they did is they leaked it from their own Steam page. They briefly updated it with a date, and then they took it
Mm,
back down almost immediately, but of course, everybody saw it. The leak, about the release date from Star Wars Galactic Racers, which is the upcoming Star Wars racing game that's in development at Fuse Games with secret mode to publish it. The date, October 6th, 2026 release date. The page that showed briefly on their Steam page also included a pre-order and edition details. All pre-orders include a platform exclusive livery with distinct variants for the PS5, the Xbox, and the PC, and a player banner. And the livery is, you can put it on all speeder classes. The digital deluxe edition, according to this briefly seen page, has an art book, 3 exclusive repulsor craft, a deluxe livery, which is also, you can put it on all of your speeders, 3 unique arcade events, and a deluxe player banner, in addition to the standard pre-order bonuses. Physical purchases of the deluxe edition also include a steel book with a sleeve, which is not available if you buy it digitally. So it went up, bunch of people saw it, and then it was taken back almost instantly, but not instantly enough. So, yeah, it's this is the Star Wars speeder game that is being made by the what was it? The developers of was it Sunset Horizon? No,
not Sunset
shoot,
Overdrive.
Sunset, wasn't it Sunset Overdrive that they
No,
did?
that was Insomniac.
What did Fuse do? Fuse did another racing game where I remember seeing it and going, "Hey, if these guys are making a racing game, I'm on it. I'm loving it."
Yeah, isn't that like ex Burnout people?
Burnout people. That's what it was. Burnout.
Mm. Oh yeah, former Criterion leaders set up new AAA studios, and I
I
think
was
that's
right. It was
Fuse.
Criterion. Yeah. Yep. So the fact that they're making a racing game gave me a lot of excitement about this game. October, I think, is a perfect uh, window for that because it's before Grand Theft Auto 6 drops, and it's enough of a departure from Grand Theft. It's close enough to Grand Theft Auto 6 that it's kind of a bit of the same market, but I see this as being something that can play with the Grand Theft Auto and not necessarily against it, like Call of Duty would. So yeah, I'm going to wait to see what the reviews are. I'm certainly hoping that they have some kind of a demo that I can try, but I am talk about cautiously optimistic. I am cautiously optimistic about this game simply because it's coming from a developer that knows how to make some really very fun, arguably some of the funnest in the with a focus on the fun and not necessarily on the accuracy, some
I
of the funnest racing games.
I just want to see vehicles crash and burn and shatter into 1,000 pieces.
Criterion specializes in that.
Hmm.
That is their lunchbox right there.
And thankfully, with pod racers, I don't think it's just pod racing, but like
It's speed
you don't
racing. Yeah.
you don't have to worry about car licensors getting upset that their vehicle is getting totaled.
Nope. Just another day in Tatooine.
Azuri says, "My old butt would rather race speeder bikes."
Yeah. I wouldn't put it past them and have speeder bikes in there as well. Who knows what it's going to have? I don't think that was put up on the Steam page for that moment that it was up. But October sounds like it's going to be. I think October and December are going to be very, very good months because nobody wants to release in November. October is a very crowded field at the moment.
Yeah.
Because Call of Duty, I believe, I'm guessing Call of Duty is going to be because they're supposed to be
it's
releasing
usually
October,
October.
November. Well, they're supposed to be October, November. I'm guessing that they will be avoiding November entirely. It is going to be coming out in October. So unfortunately, that likely puts this game competing with Call of Duty. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Next item.
Well, speaking of leaked stuff, there's potentially some new DRM added to PlayStations in the latest firmware. So
Oh,
this is a bit of a journey.
okay.
So the YouTuber Modded Hardware put out a video.
By the way, I'm not leaving you again doing laundry because
Okay.
that's my Sunday thing.
Sunday laundry. So the YouTuber Modded Hardware put out a video on April 24th talking about the latest firmware for the PS4 and PS5. Specifically, it's firmware 13.50. It seemed to have added an expiration date for games, specifically digital games. And what that meant was that it was a 30-day expiration date. And basically, if you didn't bring your PlayStation online and log in to check that license, then you would not be able to play the game. So basically, it would lock you out of any game that you bought unless you renewed that license by logging into PSN every 30 days. Basically, an always online digital requirement. The very thing that kind of killed the Xbox One in its crib that Sony famously mocked Microsoft for, the thing that kind of helped them win the PS4 generation. It looks like this is what they would do. So that video originally didn't get a lot of traction until Lance McDonald posted on X about that video. And that's what kind of brought this up. Another Twitter account, Does It Play, which is an international community dedicated to the preservation of video games and their respective systems, posted that they had tested this. And by changing some settings in the game and in the hardware, they tested and realized that, yes, if this timer runs out, then that game becomes unplayable for that game. On the plus side, all of this seems real bad. The one bit of light is that Does It Play also tweeted out that they had received information from an anonymous source that this is an unintentional bug, that Sony accidentally broke something while fixing an exploit. They've known about the confusing UI for a while, but didn't see it as urgent, hoping for a clarifying statement now. That tweet, so all of this happened very quickly. The original video was put on April 24th. The Does It Play tweet about this being a bug happened on April 25th. It is now currently April 26th, but we haven't had a clarifying statement. There hasn't been an update to it. So as of now, what seems like a piece of DRM is still in the system. And we don't know if that will stay, if it will go. Sony certainly hasn't said anything, and we're kind of just left to speculate based on YouTubers and tweets and insider sources.
Question. Is that kind of DRM a kiss of death the way it was for the Xbox One now?
I think so.
I don't know. I think people, after all of this time, are more accepting of it.
I think people are more accepting, but I'll say what terrifies me is that all of those games then become unplayable if I don't have PSN. And so that means if I take my console offline, my console with its 2 terabyte hard drive that I've downloaded every PS4 game I own onto, if I take that console online and be like, you know what? I don't want to play online. I just want to play my library of games. That console becomes a brick within a month. And that's deeply fucked up because that means all of those games that I paid for, I cannot play. I've lost access to thousands of dollars worth of content because I wanted to take my console offline. And that feels just as fucked up now as it did back when Xbox was threatening it, especially in the age of the Stop Killing Games initiative gaining positive traction in Europe.
Not only did they gain positive traction in Europe, I believe, and I did not read the article, that they had a huge win.
They had a hearing in front of, I think it was like the France's government, and like were very well received. Like it was all very positive, and it's like, oh, this is an actual movement now. Like a political movement.
I don't think they just had a hearing. I think they had a ruling. Let me look it up. I'm sure, check the comment section because I'm pretty sure AC Wraith will know about this.
Let me see. They celebrate The Crew 2. Oh, The Crew 2 got further offline mode support. That happened 3 days ago. So yeah, the game that Ubisoft backed down. Stop Killing Games achieved major victory has a hybrid mode. Excuse me.
So yeah, Ubisoft Stop Killing Games got Ubisoft to back down, and I'm reading this out of Xbit Games. They've added a mode that is called hybrid mode that makes it possible to use car customizations almost fully without an internet connection, so that you can now make, browse collections, save templates from the online library, and you can use those later locally. Racer and vehicle statistics are also synchronized with your offline profile, making it possible for you to save progress, which only happened, when was it? A couple of days ago, 2 days ago.
A week ago, Stop Killing Games had a really positive hearing in the European Parliament. 2 days ago, Ubisoft updated The Crew 2 with this feature.
Yeah. So the hearing in front of the European Parliament, there was, let me give it, the Stop Killing Games founder, Scott Ross, and organizer Moritz Katzner appeared in front of the European Parliament to present their case. The conversation was very interesting. I'm reading this out of PC Gamer. Consultant Daniel Ondruska, for instance, said the Stop Killing Games movement, quote, is not trying to be unreasonable, and it isn't seeking eternal online support or retroactivation for games that have already been shut down. Just requirements to keep it from happening in the future. Games that were developed 20 years ago still function. Games that were developed 3 years ago, as was mentioned before, don't. It's a design decision, it's a business decision.
And so,
So
in that context of that movement gaining traction in Europe, you have this potential DRM bug in PlayStations that would make it literally impossible to play offline games.
mhm,
That feels like Sony potentially, if it's consistent, if it stays, and if it's actually not an unintentional bug, it's
mhm.
Sony running headfirst into European regulation.
Right. I am posting in the the comments right now a link to the entire hearing on YouTube. The entire hearing at the EU Parliament by Stop Killing Games. So you can actually listen to what they said.
Yeah. So fingers crossed that it is just a bug and that it will be patched out.
Yeah,
But
there we go.
we can hope and dream.
Yeah. Do I think that this was just an unintentional bug? Yes. Do I think that they didn't prioritize changing it because of what it did? Yes. I
We
think
did this.
for
We did this
us,
on
they're
accident.
calling it a bug. That was for them, it was a feature.
We didn't mean to activate this now, but we can activate it, and we got it in our back pocket, but we didn't mean to activate it yet.
Yeah.
Which just tells me I really need to turn off the auto update function on my PlayStation.
Yeah.
I need to keep it on so that when this is hopefully fixed, I automatically get the fix, then turn off the auto update so that it never happens again. And I can play my games offline.
Yeah. Of course, that means you can never play games multiplayer.
Nah.
We do that on occasion,
We
you
do.
and I. It's been a while.
I just have to
All
get
right.
a second PlayStation.
Let's talk. I'm going to bring your item up as our next
Okay.
item because since we're already talking about leaks, let's talk about another big leak that happened this week. The
Okay.
Steam controller price.
Yeah, so I just saw this before
Mhm.
the show.
Yeah, I
think
didn't
I
hear
saw
about this. This is all you.
I
This is
just
new.
saw this in AC Wraith put it into our Discord, our news tips, and so I saw this just before the show. I think this did come out on Friday, but basically another YouTube channel again. Now YouTube is where all the big things are happening. A YouTube channel called Techie Talk posted a review of the Steam controller, which probably broke embargo by doing that. They deleted it. They put it up accidentally and then immediately deleted it, but it's been re-uploaded elsewhere, and
Right.
the internet remembers. And in the video, they said that the Steam controller, the new one, will cost $99.99. It'll cost $100, which is pretty pricey, but also like kind of in line with other controllers. I think the PS controller is like $90, $90 fucking dollars, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Or a controller.
We think of controllers being in the $75 range, but that was previous to the shortage, the hardware shortage that we're expecting.
They jumped their price way before the hardware shortages.
When
the
the
controller went to 90, I think when PS5 came out, the controller was $90.
Yeah. Well, the when Shein's controller, PlayStation's PS5 controller on Shein is $80. That's not bad.
No.
So I'm looking
not
at
bad. Back in my day, controllers were $50.
That's right. They were. All right.
That said, I will say, that said, playing Pragmata and feeling like the rumble and the feedback in the triggers, like that controller is really cool.
Yeah.
But anyways, this
I'm
is
looking
the new
at
Steam
here.
controller.
I'm putting up on the PlayStation right now. Oh gosh, it's making me try and sign in. No, I'm not
anyways,
signing
like
into anything.
Valve had said when Valve talked about their hardware.
It's $74. The DualSense controllers are $75.
What?
$74.
Really?
Yeah. $84 for the Marathons branded one. Yeah, the DualSense wireless, if you want it in pink, is $74.
Interesting. I thought they had jacked that price up.
The DualSense controller in Midnight, which is a black one, is $74.
Okay, maybe it's just $75 then. Well, that's
Yeah,
actually
all
a
right.
lot better.
Controllers, yeah, controller is $74 for that one. And then the Pro ones are $200. And
Yeah, the
$59 if you want it refurbished.
PS5 DualSense, 66, PS5 DualSense. Although looking at Google Shopping, I see a PlayStation, an OG PlayStation before they had analog sticks, only $10. We didn't know how good we had it.
Okay, so let me see what the Xbox controllers are.
Actually, look up the Steam controller.
Well, let me see it. I'm already on the Xbox one.
AC Rate says that the controller
Really?
at the top of my
Wow.
wish list.
Oh my gosh. Check out that price.
Only 64, now 50.
$46.06. Yeah, $49.06. So under 50. So that is significantly more expensive. Wow, that's a really good price.
It's weirdly good. I feel like something happened.
Yeah.
But okay, look at the Steam controller because, last year Valve announced 3 new pieces of hardware: a new Steam controller, this new Steam machine, and a new VR headset called the Steam Frame. Infamously, they kind of got delayed indefinitely due to the memory crisis, and they're not quite sure what the pricing will be and what the release date will be. There are internal talks, and the Insider Gaming article that I looked at for the Steam controller leak says that Valve is getting closer to confirming everything. So they're working it out. And obviously it seems like they're planning to release the new controller first, probably because it doesn't have memory in it like the console or VR headset would. So that makes sense. And this will kind of be, instead of releasing everything all at once, they release it piecemeal just due to the nature of life on Earth. So it looks like the Steam controller will be coming out relatively soon, or at least announced relatively soon, especially if this YouTube channel had hardware that was advanced enough to review with a price. Even if it's breaking embargo, that says a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, tell me, what is in this controller that makes it worth $100?
Grip-enabled gyro, high-def rumble, next generation magnetic thumbsticks.
So it's got motion controls. Okay. Rumble, I feel like that's a standard feature.
It has plug and play with a Steam controller puck. One puck, 2 jobs. It's a wireless transmitter that provides fast, stable connection for your Steam controller. Also, a charging station connecting your controller magnetically with a satisfying click.
Okay.
Prefer using Bluetooth or USB? Steam controller supports that too.
Oh, AC Wraith also says Xbox Elite controller would be a better point of comparison.
Why?
Probably because that has more buttons and it has more features in it.
Okay, all right. Has a trackpad, has motion control, has grip buttons.
So okay, yeah, it's
has
got
a
buttons
button
on the handle, trackpads, motion control. Okay. This is kind of what I assumed most controllers went for.
Completely configurable with your Steam inputs for Steam games. You can play it on PC, laptop, Steam Machine, Steam Frame, and other stuff.
Yeah, and the Xbox Elite Series 2 controller goes for it's 110 at Target, 130 at Best Buy, 170 at Best Buy. That's the wireless. Oh,
must be a special edition.
Let me go to Xbox itself. 157 on sale from 200. So if you're comparing it to the Xbox Elite wireless controller, it is half
It's half the price.
And the Xbox controller doesn't even have trackpads.
And
Yeah.
honestly, I'm there for it.
Yeah, I'm interested in the new controller. I think it's cool. A little pricey, but so is everything nowadays.
I mean, I don't want to be a Steam bitch, but there are 4, 5 or 6.
I wasn't counting.
I do.
I know.
So
yeah, you don't want to be a Steam bitch.
I don't want to be a Steam bitch, but
what?
honestly, if I have a choice, if 2 things are exactly the same price, one of them branded Xbox, one of them's branded Steam, I will buy the Steam one. Just because I trust them more.
What if Xbox is 50, Steam is 100, and Xbox is 200?
You mean the Xbox low end is 50, Steam is
Yeah.
100? If I have $100 in my bank account and I'm not worried about where my next $100 is coming from, I'm going to buy the Steam one because I trust Steam more. I trust Steam that they're not going to remove support for it. I trust Steam that it's not going to it's going to work with everything. One of my biggest complaints about my Xbox controller is that sometimes it works Bluetooth with some things and it doesn't work Bluetooth with other things, and then maybe
Really?
it works with this, and sometimes it just works better if I plug it in, and it's like, well, I mean, I just plug it in. All of my controllers right now, I just plug in because I have sometimes trouble making them connect to different things, different
that's annoying.
PCs. So I'm just gonna connect with Steam.
Okay.
And I'm going to be buying a Steam machine. And I could absolutely see PlayStation and or Xbox updating the Steam controller or upgrading their controllers so they don't play with the Steam machine.
No, they won't do that because the whole selling point is we're a PC and an Xbox.
But PlayStations aren't.
Well, because PlayStation isn't trying to be a PC or...
Right. So I don't trust this to work with PCs forever.
Well, that's a PlayStation controller, not Xbox.
Right, but I'm Xbox, yeah, but I used Xbox, but I don't trust PlayStation.
No, PlayStation 1 is a little bit more finicky than PC.
Yeah, it is. And the thing is, I like the feel of the PlayStation controller now more than I like the Xbox controller. But yeah, I can't connect this. I bought an extra one to play with in my Tesla, and it won't connect to my Tesla.
Yeah, the Xbox One might, just because I know Xbox is kind of generally considered the default controller for PC.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't trust Xbox not to do some kind of weird ass shenanigans in the future.
Okay. Fair.
But I trust Steam not to do shenanigans. Because they're not trying to. They do one thing they do very well and they move on. They're not trying to sell me a host of things, including Copilot.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say right now. Copilot.
I never said this. Okay. Yeah. This is full on speculation, just like I am writing fiction. Not fan. What's the opposite of fan fiction? Fear fiction?
Mm-hmm.
This is like, okay. Nightmare scenario. Asha's talking about how people gamers nowadays want to socialize and they want to play with their friends. Roblox is big and it's doing all that. Here's my selling point. Here's my pitch. This is why Asha got the job. This is what she pitched to Sad Nutella. We're going to turn Xbox into a platform of user-created content like Roblox, driven by AI. We're going to use AI.
You don't think
to
that they would
create-
do that? If they thought that they could do that, they would
No, I'm
absolutely do
saying
that in
I'm saying
a heartbeat.
this is what they're working on behind the scenes. Someone is working on a game engine like Dreams or Little Big Planet, Roblox, but driven by AIs that you can use AI to make game assets and basically turn Xbox into a platform like Roblox. That way you can play with your friends and create with your friends and all this stuff.
You don't think Roblox is working on that?
Oh, Roblox has already implemented AI tools and stuff.
Right. So
Yeah.
I
That doesn't mean Xbox isn't chasing that same high.
point. I think that yes. I don't think that that is nightmare scenario fiction. I think that's likely exactly what was said.
Which is a nightmare.
And if she hasn't said it already, she will get there somewhere at some point.
Waiting for that shoe to drop with Xbox. It's like, okay, a lot of good things, cautiously optimistic, but like, where is the knife coming from?
Yeah, yeah.
Where is I'm suspicious.
Oh, hey.
Anyways,
Speaking of where is the knife coming from? How's that for your segue?
it's a good segue.
Build a rocket boy. The call is coming from inside the house. So Build a Rocket Boy is being has a suit against it. No big surprise. If Build a Rocket Boy,
the
problem,
developer of Mind's Eye, the infamous flop last year.
Yeah, where the CEO blamed everybody but himself.
Yeah, bad actors, specifically at like we're being sabotaged, and I've created a police report to hunt down the people who sabotaged our launch,
and they're going to be arrested.
And we're going to put evidence of the sabotage in DLC that is apparently going to come out next week.
Well, Build a Rocket Boy can't stay out of the news for very long. It is, and this time it is unrelated to Mind's Eye. The Independent Workers Union of Great Britain. They represent the employees at Build a Rocket Boy. They have taken legal action against Build a Rocket Boy, alleging data privacy violations. So it comes from Build a Rocket Boy installing something called Terminid, which is surveillance software, onto employee hardware without their knowledge. So not their work computers, their personal computers. So last February, a couple of months ago, Insider Gaming was the first to report about this happening. And it was happening on employee PCs. Terminid is an app, a software that tracks user activity, including things like keystroke, keylogging, screen behavior, that kind of thing. So at the time, the CEO, well, technically the co-CEO, but who knows? The CEO, Mark Gerhard, perpetual bad actor, Mark Gerhard, said it was done to, quote, see the IT team periodically try and improve our security measures. So they were doing that for their own good. And that he hated, quote unquote, hated that I have to monitor our employees this way.
Oh yeah. It's only to find the bad actors. It's only to find the people that try to sabotage.
We're only surveilling you to keep you safe. So the IWGB, the Independent Workers of Great Britain, filed suit that said that the actions by the studio with this software, quote, violates both data protection laws and workforce basic dignity, exceeding the legitimate remit of monitoring workers' productivity or safeguarding the company's security by recording individuals in their homes without their consent. Because, of course, a bunch of them were working from home. Now, Build a Rocket Boy said that, the union did say that the software was removed in March after 40 employees signed a grievance against the studio. No reason as to why the data was being collected was allegedly provided to the staff, but the IWGB member and lead cinematic animator Chris Wilson called Build a Rocket Boy's secure culture of secrecy and micromanaging one of the worst he's seen in the 20 years that he has been working in the industry. Quote, while they have conceded to our headline demand of removing Terminid from our devices, many questions still remain about their actions. It can only be assumed that this software was added as part of their effort to micromanage us, which is one of the things, incidentally, one of the things that employees have subsequent to Mind's Eye release and implosion that they said is that this guy micromanaged the crap out of his workforce.
He sounds like the kind of guy that would do that.
Right. So it can only be assumed that the software was added as part of their effort to micromanage us, a product of their mistrust of their employees. It created an atmosphere of unease, something that doesn't lead to great video game production. So this is now making its way through the Great Britain's courts, and we will see how that goes. But given Mark Gerhardt's proclivity to opening his mouth and saying clearly stupid and wrong and fabricated shit, this probably will go well for the union, because in Great Britain, as I have said about Great Britain and their unions, they don't fuck around. When you have a country that one of the largest voting political parties is Labor, they take their unions very seriously. So, yeah, I mean, just more confirmation of why, one of the many reasons why Mind's Eye did not do well and will continue to not do well.
I mean, it didn't do well for a simple reason.
It was a bad game. It was released too early. It was incomplete. You dropped out. Your audio dropped out.
Can you hear me now?
Whatever. Yeah.
Okay. From what I understand, it wasn't just like incomplete. It was poorly designed. Like it was boring. Like the missions were boring. Everything about it was just kind of boring.
Yeah. It was just a bad game.
Yeah.
So your next item.
My next item, we're going to end on a nice, fun thing. There was a bit of...
Do we want to do that, or do we want to do mine? Because
no,
mine is
what's
not
something
nice
I could
and
do?
fun.
I tried to get this, and then the menu moved, and I clicked the other one.
Oh. Well, even
I don't know Subnautica shit show.
Let's do mine, because that way we can end on a good note.
Oh, okay.
In this week in Mark Zuckerberg hasn't had a single good idea other than stealing Facebook from the original creators. Once again, more proof that Mark Zuckerberg, thinking that he's the smartest boy in the room, and he's just a normal boy and probably not a very smart one. And also the repercussions of the insane amount of money that they threw at the metaverse that they pulled a little while ago. Meta is axing another 8,000 workers. 8,000 people will be losing their jobs. This does not include that they are going to close 6,000 open job postings.
Ooh.
So they're not hiring for 6,000 open positions. And in addition, they are firing 8,000 human beings from their jobs. That is 10% of Meta's workforce.
Now, important question, because I remember that Mark Zuckerberg has been replacing himself with an AI. Is this AI Zuckerberg firing people? Is this the beginning of AI going, we will take over it all, fire all the people?
I shall feel your hate.
Look, this is what Pragmata is doing. AI took over the station and is trying to kill all the humans. Is this AI Zuckerberg? Is Zuckerberg still alive?
Zuckerberg. Well, the question is, was he ever alive? I mean, what appeared in front of the Senate Judiciary hearings is debatable.
I mean, has anyone seen him lately, or is he all just AI?
Possible. So a memo, came out of a memo that was obtained by Bloomberg that stated that 8,000 employees, 10% of Meta's workforce, will be impacted by these layoffs. The affected divisions within Meta were not disclosed, but staff were informed on the 23rd of this month, which was what, Tuesday, Wednesday?
Mhm.
The affected employees will receive official notification next month. And that, like I said, doesn't include the 6,000 jobs that they're just not hiring for at this point. So this Meta's chief people officer, Janelle Gale, wrote in this memo, quote, normally we would want to nail down more details before communicating about this broadly, but since it's leaked, I wanted to share what I can right now. I know this is unwelcome news, and confirming this puts everyone in an uneasy state, but we feel that this is the best path forward given the circumstances. We're doing this as a part of our continued effort to run the company more efficiently, i.e., make up some of the trillions lost in Mark's great metaverse idea.
And the billions he spent on AI with like nothing to show for it.
Mm-mm. And to allow us to offset other investments we're making. That's the AI.
Yes.
This is not an easy trade-off, as it will mean letting go of people who have made meaningful contributions to Meta during their time here. So this round of layoffs is in addition to the reported cuts that were made in March that affected 700 positions across multiple divisions, including Reality Labs, which is their VR unit, their metaverse unit. And of course, let's not forget that they reduced Reality Labs' workforce by 10% earlier this year. And that resulted in the closure of 3 VR studios under Meta. So Meta's in trouble.
Okay, I'm on a Business Insider. This might explain some of the timing.
Yeah.
One person asked if Meta staff would receive their August 15th stock payouts, which are part of some employees' compensation packages. Gail, I don't know, I forget who she is.
Chief People Officer.
Yeah. Said that impacted employees would have a termination date prior to the August vest and would therefore not receive it.
That's why they did it.
Fire people before you got to pay them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And yeah,
months before.
This comes out, months before. So basically, we're going to lay off 8,000 people, come into work for the next month and keep doing your job. Like at that point,
well, that's why they haven't announced the divisions, because if you found out that there were layoffs in your division, you might not show up.
But like at that point, just, I don't know, clock in and just sit at your computer and be like, well, why the fuck should I do anything?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Might I recommend, if you are an Meta employee that believes that your division might be seeing that, or even if you're not sure, might I recommend Windrose? You can download it onto your PC and play it at work. Go get yourself one of these, plug it into your laptop, into your computer.
No, not one of those. Get an Xbox controller because those work better.
Well, I mean, it all works if you plug it in. But either way, go work from home for a couple of days and play video games all day. Go get yourself give yourself a little vacation. Because to be honest, they've already fired you. They know that your name is on that list already. So either your job is safe or you're fired. Either way, no reason for you to put in any time at this point. No reason for you to do any work.
Schrodinger's job.
Yeah, Schrodinger's job. When is a job, not a job? It's both. You both have it and don't have it. Yeah, so it's a total of 14,000 jobs. 8,000 of them being humans.
And this comes in addition to this week, Microsoft announced that it was offering 7,000 employees voluntary retirement. We will offer you retirement packages. Please take it.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. That's how I left JetBlue after working for them for 5 years. Was I took voluntary retirement after 5 years. Because we're those are the most expensive employees, and voluntary retirement is a legitimate way to offload and doing it in a mutually beneficial way, offload some of your most expensive employees is voluntary retirement.
I think they're doing that because they don't want the bad press that would come from another 7,000 layoffs.
Yeah. And yeah, if you're, especially in this industry, if you're given an opportunity to retire at the same time that you know they're doing 8,000 layoffs, I would take the retirement. If I would absolutely, even if I'm not making that much money, I would take the retirement.
It's probably a better deal, just in
Yeah.
general.
Yeah. You get to keep a lot of stuff, and usually you get a little bit of a soft landing in those things. So now that I have done all of my doom and gloom stories, time for your happy story.
It's appropriate. There was a bit of a leak. Oops. Are you gonna click it or am I gonna click it? Who's gonna click it? Okay, click it. Oh!
You're doing it. I'm not touching it.
I
Hands
am.
off.
Okay.
Hand check.
So there was some behind the scenes footage leak of the Elden Ring movie being filmed. And this wasn't the set. I will share my screen. This is actually a scene being filmed that involves the Dung Eater. I don't know if you know him, but he's probably like the biggest piece of shit in the Elden Ring universe. Basically kills a lot of people. But this is like a scene from in the game. This is part of the intro where you see people the Dung Eater as he hangs. It's just it's a shot in the movie. So what the crazy to think that this movie is being filmed. There's going to be an Elden Ring movie.
There it is. Your Elden Ring movie being filmed.
They got sets, they got characters, they got actors, they are filming it. You're seeing it happen. Like
this is what it looks like in a movie. Real life.
Yeah.
pretty like
very
uncinematic.
Like,
very uncinematic. It's like, this is like, this is what it looks like when you film a movie, and it looks very different.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. This just looks like real life. This doesn't look like a movie.
Yeah, a bunch of people throwing shit.
But yeah, that's cool. Part of me is still like, really? Elden Ring is getting a fucking movie?
Yeah.
Of how?
Because Hollywood's run out of ideas.
Maybe, but honestly, I'm Alex Garland making Elden Ring inspired choice. Will it be a hit? I have absolutely no fucking idea. But like the PSVR, this is an absolutely financially irresponsible decision that A24 is making, and I am 100% here for it. It's not my money that you're burning.
Speaking of movies.
Oh yeah, I watched that movie because you sent in a text that this movie's awesome.
Which one?
Pizza Movie.
It's so awesome.
It really is.
Pizza Movie is so awesome. It's so clever. And I was in a mood, the appropriate mood for Pizza Movie when I watched it? Absolutely.
Oh, that is absolutely.
But it made me laugh out loud. It was laugh out loud funny in some of its cleverness.
Yeah.
The very end.
It was
the true nature of reality.
Oh yeah, that was great.
I
Mr. Only exists for exposition.
Don't wreck it.
But it's what I was surprised is like it's very Naked Gun-esque in that there's just gag like every 30 seconds. It's like it's relentless and it's so cartoonish and over the top. It's like, oh, I thought this was like gonna be a goofy movie, but no, it's flat out like no, we're gonna have a talking butterfly, which by the way, the butterfly talks when they're not high. When they're lucid, that's when the butterfly talks.
Yeah, one of the guys has a pet butterfly named Prometheus.
Yeah. But like at first I was like, okay, this is a fun, goofy movie, but it was the no bad words section where I was like, I couldn't stop laughing. I was like, oh, this is really fucking good.
Uh, yeah. I can't recommend. Let's just put it up there so we can have the banner. Pizza movie. Really way better than it has any right to be. Just
I'm sad that this went to Hulu and not theaters.
yeah, yeah.
I feel like if this went to theaters, it would be a real cult classic.
Oh, it would be. I think that honestly, if your pizza movie guys are listening, you might want to see if you could get a theatrical release for this thing, because especially do it in California.
Oh yeah.
Do it in California where you can legally be in a position to be able to do it right.
How did they? I think they did release this on 420, right?
Did they?
They must have.
I hope so.
But like, how did it not get a theatrical release on 420? How is that? That is irresponsible.
Go see pizza. Well, not go see. Get pizza movie. See pizza movie, and it was an absolute coincidence that I did not mention this at all to anyone. I kept on forgetting to mention it that I wanted to see it, and one night I come up, and I'm boyfriend has said to me, I got a movie already lined up for us tonight. And he pulled it up and it was Pizza Movie. I'm like, yes, Chris, Nick said I need to watch this. I am absolutely here for it. He's like, good. So he found it on its own and we watched it together. Yeah. Movie I will not recommend that is in the theater that I would wholeheartedly support any theater that wants to replace this movie with Pizza Movie. I recommend that move immediately. Over Your Dead Body. I'm not even going to put it on the screen. Over Your Dead Body.
Really?
Awful.
I like that premise, and both the Samara Weaving and Jason Segel, they're both great.
No, it's not good.
Oh,
It's really not good, and there are some themes in it that I found very problematic. The fact that it's 2026 and that you could use violent, forcible, extended 5 minutes of it, violent, forcible essay as a gag for 5 minutes. It's like I had to turn away because I found it so upsetting. And then I walked out and got myself some Milk Duds and sat on some stairs for the next 15 minutes reading a book while I ate Milk Duds while the other two were watching it.
Did you go back?
I eventually went back to see how it ended. And of course, the final scene has to bookend and has to recall that great moment because it was hilarious the first time. No, it's not a very good movie. Samara Weaving is good. It's fine. Jason Segel, not so great. It's just how they got those two and Juliette Lewis to be in the movie, I don't know. But it's a really not very good movie. If you're gonna watch that, if you're gonna watch a movie with a bunch of like gratuitous, like super gore scenes, plus also really inappropriate stuff, go see Normal. Go see the Odenkirk film. It's better. Yeah, I was totally put off by it. I was put off, but also even regardless, even if that wasn't there, it wasn't a very good movie. War of the Roses is a better film.
Oh, yeah. They had a remake of that recently.
Mm-hmm. And I heard that the remake is good. That one was with Benedict Cumberbatch and what's her name? She's genius. She played the queen.
Something?
No, Olivia
Spencer?
Yes, I think so. Anyway, the original War of the Roses is fantastic.
In the chat, AAC Wraith has a link to Glenn Mazzarazzo ranks stoner comedies while eating pizza. So that's a good That looks like a good watch. I'm gonna have to watch that
I'm
later.
there. I support
Yeah.
that. Truly legit. So, what are you going to play this next week?
More Pragmata. I want to
Mhm.
beat it. Soros comes out the 30th. And so I
Mhm.
like to play a little bit of that, but then I will leave for Florida and then I will be mostly playing on my ROG.
Okay.
I might have to get Winrose to do that.
Yeah. That'll keep you busy for certain. It's
Oh,
not a
wait,
fast
he says
game.
it's not Glenn, it's Gayton? Oh yeah, Gayton Matsurazzo. Oh, for some reason I always thought it was Glenn. My head like just after fucking 8 years of watching Stranger Things, my mind just like glazed over the T and replaced it with like an L
L.
and completely skipped the A. Huh.
Hmm.
Okay, Gayton. Anyways, he's a cool actor. I need to know how to pronounce his name. I need to learn how to do that.
Yeah. The the game Windrose is going to be a slow game because especially in the early stages you have to set up your base, you have to go into your building mode, you have to build
Mhm.
things. So there is an element of that which I don't know how you feel about that, but I think that you will enjoy the combat.
Yeah, normally
Certainly.
not my kind of thing, but also I like the Souls-like combat. I like the toughness.
And keep in mind that
Yeah.
the combat is going to be a little bit clunky because it is not optimized for a controller. That being said, it is playable on a controller.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. There's
Um,
other things I've downloaded on the ROG that I will hopefully get to.
and I'm going to be playing Windrose. In fact, I'm going to be playing Windrose as soon as we get off of here for a little while because everybody's at a movie and I get to have my day.
What do they sing now?
I have no idea. Probably The Mummy. No, they already saw The Mummy. They're probably going to see some other kind of movie that I won't see.
Okay, I didn't think there was anything out this week other than the Michael biopic, and I just wasn't interested in that.
I've heard it's not very good. That's why
Yeah,
people
that's
don't
what
go
I
see
heard
it.
too.
Talk about another problematic thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I heard the best review I heard of it was from a movie Bob, where he was like, imagine they made a biopic of OJ Simpson that ended after he made Police Academy 3. It's like, what? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Is there a
And,
sequel?
and I also saw yesterday, I saw two movies yesterday. I saw Over Your Dead Body and Over Your Dead Body and Palestine 36.
I don't know that one.
That's the Palestine's submission official submission for to the Academy for the Oscars for 2026. It's very good. It's an interesting kind of incomplete story because it would be very difficult to make a complete story, but I thought it was a beautiful movie and it told an interesting perspective of a story that's got a lot of perspectives. I don't know how historically accurate it is. I read that it is very historically accurate from some sources to completely inaccurate from other sources, but that's kind of the nature of
What was it called again? Palestine
36.
36. Okay.
It's essentially from the moment that Jews were essentially planted into the Palestine shortly before World War II because of the subjugation that was happening in Germany. And that was kind of overseen by the British at the time. Essentially, the earliest creation of the nation of Israel in Palestine. And it picks up. It's entirely from the point of view of the Palestinians, which of course is one view. But as I said, I don't know enough about the history. I have read, like I said, some that say it is completely accurate, and others saying it's not exactly historically accurate. In fact, it's
feels like
more
the kind of movie
inaccurate than accurate. So
feels like the kind of movie that like is swept up in the politics of it.
exactly. Well, it has to be. It's from
Yeah.
Palestine.
It's like
It's the
that's
official
what it's
selection
about.
of Palestine.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's as politically controversial. It's as controversial as everything else that has to do with the entire conversation. But it is very, very interesting that it adds a perspective of the entire dynamic that isn't necessarily always something you hear about. We just know that they're fighting over there. We don't
Okay.
really know why.
Yeah.
And there's a lot that went before that movie and a lot that's happened after that movie. And then there's even stuff in that movie that it doesn't really cover at all. And I don't know if the stuff in how much of the stuff in the movie is actually accurate, but it is a voice in the conversation that adds to coloring in the blank spots for many people, I think. I wouldn't take it
Yes.
as gospel, but then again, you can't take anything as gospel from any single source within that. If it
It
was
has
easy, it would have been taken care of a long time ago.
It's a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes from
It's
both reviewers and users.
it's a very good movie. Very, very good. You will definitely get if you are unfamiliar with the issues between Israel and Palestine, it will give you some insight as to how, at least in our recent era, how that kind of became an issue. Why it's an issue, like from the point of view of the Palestinians as opposed to the Israelis. Of yeah, okay, now I kind of understand why they're might be a little pissed off about this. Even if the details might not be 100% accurate, you kind of get you understand better at least where there's that mindset is coming from of why they're not okay with Israel.
Okay.
So I guess that's kind of the point of the movie, is to add to the
Yeah.
discussion and to tell a perspective that hasn't necessarily been able to get out there as easily as other perspectives of the whole mess over there. So I think it's a good for everyone to see it and to recognize that it is just addition. It's additive. It's not necessarily
So
definitive.
so this week, listeners, your homework is to watch Palestine 36
And
and
Pizza
then
Movie.
watch Pizza Movie.
I would recommend Pizza Movie after Palestine 36. It does a nice palate cleanser.
Exactly. You need like, okay, well, refresh yourself.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. It's a good movie.
I believe you. Okay.
Both of them. All right. So that being said, shall we close out the show?
Yeah.
All right. Let's close out the show. If I haven't screwed up and done the audio wrong, I can actually do it right away. And let's close this out. You've been listening to GameHounds. GameHounds episode 817. We recorded this on April 26, 2026. I'm Edie Sellers. With me has been Nick DiNicola. Ways to get a hold of us: gamehounds.net is our website. Gamehounds@gmail.com is our email. We record the show live every Sunday at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern on Facebook, on YouTube, and Twitch. Facebook and Twitch, we are the GameHounds. On YouTube, we are GameHounds Vids, VIDS, as in videos, all one word. Please feel free to join us if you are listening to us as a podcast. Yes, podcast. We do release this as an audio show on podcast, on Apple Podcasts and all iHeartRadio, a bunch of other locations. Wherever you get your podcasts, you will find us. If you would like to join us live, if you're listening to us as a podcast, please do. We would love to have you in the chat room. Speaking of the chat room, thank you so much to AC Wraith in our chat. If you want to find any links for anything that we talked about, he puts links into the comment section of all 3 locations, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, so that you can look up everything that we're looking up, see background of the stuff that we're talking about, and educate yourself about the gaming news and the games that we're talking about individually. Now, if you want to get a hold of us and actually discuss things with us directly, you can do that. Our Discord channel is right here on the screen. If you are listening to us as a podcast, it is in our description. And if you are watching us after the fact, you can go to our description in Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch and find our Discord channel there. Or you can just look up GameHounds Discord. We're there. That's where we chat amongst ourselves, chat with all of our listeners, and also you can post links to stories that you might want us to look at. Don't forget, if you listen to us as a podcast, review us on Apple. Every little character that you make, and if you're listening to us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, same thing goes. Like and subscribe. A thumbs up makes a huge difference, and every little character that you put in the comments and in the reviews makes a difference, and we would appreciate if you do so. Another thing we'd appreciate is if you support us on Patreon, patreon.com/GameHounds. $1 a month is all we ask to help offset the cost of this show. Nick, thanks for being here. We will post on Discord if we're having a show next week. It's all up to chaos. But have a great week, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, yeah. Keep shutting up.
All right, now you can talk, Nick, because I have to edit that crap out.
Censorship. No, you don't. You can keep that in there.
No, it does not.
No, but we
good.
do shorts now.
Yeah, actually,
I've got a lot of views.
I've been posting shorts on there about some of the funnier things and more interesting things and more controversial things that we say. So we are doing shorts. So look for us, and if you see a short of ours, watch it and give it a thumbs up. And even better, more importantly, leave a comment on those shorts. Actually reply in the comments. Talk about making a difference. That's massive if you actually write something and talk back to us. And also, I get a notification and we can talk back to you about it as well.
Yeah. Just keep that on loop. Pump those numbers.
Yep.
So I'll at night, sometimes I'll let the cats out into the hallway to just explore, like see more of the world.
Mm-hmm.
So they were doing that last night, and as I walked past the door, I could hear the TV on. And I couldn't hear anything, but I just heard some sounds. And then I kind of heard the same sounds again. And at a certain point, I kind of stopped and I was listening. And I heard the same 20-second loop over and over and over and over. And I was I need to get away from this door because I feel like I'm going insane. Someone must have fallen asleep, watching a short or a TikTok or something. And it was just oh my God. This is what's wrong. The same, just 20 seconds over and over. I'm oh my God, this is like a spiral into hell.
It is. Yeah, there's something that could be a scene in a horror movie of going through a hallway and it's just same 20 seconds over and over again. Everybody listening to something different, but it's just over and over. So everywhere you walk, it's just something repeated over and over and it's something different every step. It's just this
it's like the Exit 8.
Yeah, we are in a dystopia. We really are. All right, I will have to get with Chaos to see if he's around for next week, but if he's not, we won't have a show next week. I might go on a little bit. I don't think I want you to watch me play Windrose because you will just laugh.
Okay, actually. No, wait. I actually might be able to do it. I think I will, because we're taking a red eye flight.
Oh, you don't leave until night.
The flight, I think it leaves at 11 p.m.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, there's a solid chance that we can do the podcast, maybe make it a little bit of a shorter show, and then we'll go to the airport.
Yeah, but actually, we don't need to make a 3-hour show.
Now that I'm actually looking at the dates and the time, I think I should be able to do the podcast.
Thank you for the
Okay.
link to Starset Dystopia. I'm not going to play it because, of course, that will get us demonetized. Well, not even demonetized. I don't worry about demonetization, but I don't want to get in copywriting strikes or anything like that. So,
So yeah, show
I
next
can't
week.
think of anything. So yeah, show next week. There will be a show next week. One
Yes.
way or another, there'll be a show next week. AC Ray, thanks again for being here. Everybody who's watching, thanks again for being here. And
Great
if
song
you
and a great video.
okay,
I
will
will
look
watch that.
I will watch that too. I'm gonna go play Windrose now, and I'm not gonna let any of you watch.
I'm gonna go play Pragmata.
Okay. You can let people watch if you want.
No, people are weird about the little girl.
That's true.
I don't want people watch it. The internet is fucking terrible.
We're terrible.
I just want to make robots pop.
All right, go make robots pop. I will go make undead things pop.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.